Hey, this is zmoT. I figured I'd post a Hammerman video today as both my prototypes are about to expire, and I've heard that Hammerman is fairly simple today. My base, as I've mentioned, as you've probably heard many times, is sort of a pain for Hammerman just because the trees get in the way. I'll show you that later on. I'm just going to fly through these early stages. I don't typically have to change my layout until stage 5 or so. But as you can see, I've got a lot of trees. The majority of them are groves or thickets, and the reason for that is that trees don't get bigger, and you can only have 60 trees per base. So what I tend to do is I try to go through, clean up any of the smaller trees, and trees only grow near trees, it seems. So what I'll do is if I'm trying to get trees into an area, I'll leave a young mangrove there just so that the trees will populate around it, and then I'll remove the smaller ones later on. So I believe I'm getting near the 60 tree maximum, but I've got trees most of the areas where I want them. Every day or so I'll go through and make sure I don't have any young mangroves hidden in the back and remove those just to make sure that I'm not hitting the max. And one thing you'll notice is that you get a tree every so let's just have a look at the wiki here. Every 13 hours you have a 40% chance of getting a tree. So it takes quite a while to build up a big forest here. And one of the commenters was saying that trees do help on defense just because it changes pathing a bit. And I'll agree with that. It doesn't do a lot, but especially for against Zookas or against riflemen, it does make a difference. So we're still mowing down the majority of hammer here. I'm level 65, all my defenses are maxed, so this shouldn't, especially with 2 protos, this all should go down very easily. If it didn't, I'd be very surprised. On my level 48, or level 46 account, I can rarely beat Hammerman level 2, but that's just part of being an offensive player, I suppose. One of my biggest complaints about Hammerman is the fact that it takes about 4 clicks just to defend the next level. I really wish you could just click next. It just seems ridiculous that I have to click 3 times, because they know that everyone's going to be doing the next level, so why not just give the option right away? Level 5's going down fairly easily here. Nothing that my layout can't handle, I don't think. Warriors tend to make things a little bit awkward just with how fast they are, but I haven't touched my base. My hotpot hasn't even popped up yet, and we're still doing fairly well. Grenadiers can be a bit annoying. I mean, without any faster speed or the ability to skip, they'll just waste so much time. I mean, they're not gonna take me down. It's just being annoying at this point. That damage amp is causing the boom cannon behind it to take some damage, which, if they're there long enough, could take me out. But just because it's stage 5, it shouldn't be a big deal. They've got no medics, and those boom cannons are gonna crush them as soon as they move forward. So now we get into late level 6, so I'm gonna have to move things a little bit. And this is when I tend to get a little bit nervous, just because I don't know when that every 13 hours happens to be, and it would really suck if I lost my legitimate base, like you'll see here. I'll just save this for now before I move anything. Now let's move things around. I gotta make a bit of space for my iron mine. I don't have a heck of a lot of untreed areas, so I gotta typically move a couple things out of the way first. So we've got, if I try and load up my base, you'll see I've got a new a grove back there that I don't want to cut down. Let's try and load up another one. Yeah, see, like, I've got, the trees just ruin all of my layouts. They're all basically irrelevant. So every time I have to do Hammerman, it's got to be a new base. Start from scratch every time, and I try and do it as quickly as I can in case a tree grows that I actually want, and then I'll have to cut it down in order to get my original base to load. So trees can be a little bit annoying, and I'm running out of space, as you can see, so I've got to move a number of buildings just to even make space for my Iron Man, or my Iron Mine, I should say. I'm going to move my hotpot to the front, and I'm going to move my damage amp along with it. Just having an amped hotpot by itself can destroy Hammerman for the most part. especially level 6. Level 7 it can be a little bit different story, but I'm just gonna try it. And here, let's move this cannon over here, drop the hot pot in, and yeah, very limited changes so far. Let's just see how it goes, and then we'll go from there. I don't have high hopes for this, just based on I still have the majority of my defenses at or behind the headquarters, so we'll see how this goes. Hot pot's up. Yeah, I'm just gonna get mauled here. Not pretty, but it's a good start. And the easiest way for me to rearrange my base, especially without having to worry too much about my layout, is I'll just swap things. What that can actually do for me is that I can save my layout, and there's a slim chance that I can actually use it again. By swapping them, it means that there's not a tree there currently, so it comes in quite handy. The maxed mortars do so much damage, so I like to have them out the front just to hopefully, if I can get rid of troops or kill medics. And this is all. I noticed that this flamethrower got barrage, so I'm going to move it back to the corner just to get it out of the way, so it doesn't kill anything else with it. Let's move my boom cannon to the front, actually. I like to put either a boom cannon or a mortar in front of my hot pot, just because they have so much health that it can keep the hot pot alive for a bit longer. Typically I'll put a mortar up the front, but today I'll put a boom cannon and we'll go from there. So I'll move some things back in range of the damage amp again. There we go. That should be good enough for now, I think. Now I've got a fair bit of gold, so I'll try and keep this brief and just hit it as fast as I can and hope that it goes down, and if I have to do it a couple times, so be it. I really wish they had an 8 times speed on Hammerman too. I find that 4 times is just not fast enough. I just want to skip it, and I can watch the replay if I have to. So hot pot's doing all right up the front. So far so good. Hot pot's down. That's probably too early for our hot pot to be down. I haven't moved any of my mines yet, so they're not going to be doing a heck of a lot of use yet. So you can see my mines by the core there aren't even touched, so we'll have to move those soon enough. Okay, let's move a couple more defenses up, move some mines. And they all seem to come along the right side, so I'll try and set up a minefield. And I know that there's a couple different layouts out there that are fantastic for Hammerman. I know that Solar Taco, I think that's how you say his name, does circle base, which draws the attackers in 2 different directions. And there's all over the forum there's a Chinese trap base. So if you don't have trees, I would highly recommend checking out the Chinese trap base or checking out Sol. There are a number of different layouts that work very, very well, and I just can't use either of them because I choose to have trees instead, which is probably silly, but that's alright. So I'm just gonna try and keep my mines a couple squares apart from one another, just to maximize the damage that we can have from them. And I don't know where half my mines are, so I've got to dig through a little bit just to find them. Now we've got a fair bit of a pretty decent minefield set up. I don't know where all my... I think I used to have one back at my headquarters, but it doesn't seem to be there anymore. But let's try now level 6 again. Speed it up to 4. And I don't really pay a lot of attention for the first couple tries on what's shocked and what's barraged, and I just want to get my defenses in a decent place. So hot pot's down. Heading into our minefield. Looks like I still got a flamethrower that's still up, so that's handy. So we're getting better, definitely way closer this time, but still need to do a bit of work. Let's move this flamethrower up a bit since it seemed to be staying alive. Move my machine gun away as it looked like the flamethrower was damaged by an artillery or barrage, it looked like. So now I'm going to try and throw some useless buildings up here to draw some fire. As of right now, as soon as that boom cannon's down, the hot pot's getting hit hard. So if I can even just distract things for a little bit, I should be able to keep my hot pot alive long enough to burninate the countryside a little bit. Hopefully someone out there gets that reference. So everything, I don't know the defensive building health all that terribly well. Everything seems to be 5,000. I don't know if there's anything that I can put up here that's more than 5,000 that'll fit in a 3x3 square. So let's just, actually no, that was barrage, so let's leave that back there. Let's just move a random building up. Let's put our iron storage, or gold storage up there. Move some statues out of the way. You can see some more of my mines become visible. Of course I didn't make this hole big enough, so I need to move a couple more buildings and statues out of the way, but that's not the end of the world whatsoever. Extend our minefield a bit. Now let's move that iron storage up front. And let's give that one more shot. Hopefully that keeps our hot pot alive just long enough to clear out those riflemen that are been plaguing us. Okay, so hot pot's doing well. Iron storage is down, but gold storage did a little bit of work for us. I'm not sure if that was any longer, but hopefully it was just marginally long enough for the hot pot to do some more damage. It seems like they've got less troops this time. Minefields doing some work, machine gun. We might have it here. Oh, that flamethrower's still alive back there. Oh, it's going to be close. No, I think we got it. And as you can see, I've got tons of trees here. Once the defenses go away, the trees lose their transparency, which makes them show a little bit more, which is kind of neat. And we've got it, Hammerman 7. That's 6, shoot. Hammerman 6 in, what's that, 3 or 4 tries? That's not terribly bad for no ice and a terrible layout. Okay, ready to get steamrolled. So no medics. So this should be fairly simple. I've heard level 7 is easy, so this we'll see how it goes. Man, those bazookas are just getting destroyed. I love how the hot pot drops down, then the grenadiers come forward again. That's one of my favorite things, especially when someone attacks you with grenadiers. And it's the replays are always so good. This should go down. I mean, all heavies, unless he's got more troops in behind, all heavies don't have a chance. Easy. So let's hammer level 7. Piece of cake. I really wish that, like, when it pops up, Hammerman doesn't say, "Oh, you beat me," or it'd be kind of neat if his ship sank or some sort of effect. So yeah, Hammerman level 7. All stages done in 10 attacks. That's pretty good. 3 diamonds. So I'll try and show you where some of my mines are here. I've been asked a couple times. It's a bit of a pain. I've taken some screenshots in the past by moving all my defenses out of the way. Let's build a doom cannon first. Let's see what we've got here. So I've got a lot of parts. The only thing I'm missing is those glow sticks. But 160 of those is a pretty decent number. I don't know what any of them are used for. I tend to just build them. I saved up for long enough that it doesn't really matter. So in behind most of my statues I hide mines. That's fairly standard. I've got them hidden behind my sniper towers as well. The level 22 cannon also hides them very well. The maxed rocket launchers hide 3 very, very well. Let's put that back in place. So I've only got 1 behind that one. Max boom cannons are a great place to hide 3 mines. Now let's have a look. I've got Nothing over here. The new skin they added to the wood storage in the September update hides a mine, which not many people talked about. That shock mine looks like it should be moved a little. Oh, there we go, there at the hidden shock mine. Strangely enough, the iron mine is one of my favorite buildings. It's 5x5, so it makes troops spread around it, and it hides mines extremely well. That's enough for me for the day. I can't harp on Hammerman any longer. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, please hit me up in the comments. I always check them, and that's where I get most of my ideas from. Peace.